we have our first look, our first reveal of Black Ops 7's multiplayer. Though this actually went live early, as in typical COD HQ fashion, the developers slipped up once more because it seems like currently they are holding internal playtests of Black Ops 7, so people right now are testing and playing Black Ops 7's multiplayer and hopefully giving some very valuable feedback. And I don't know how and who did this, but for some weird reason they accidentally pushed the message of the day that was meant for this internal playtest of Black Ops 7 to the actual released version of Black Ops 6 / the COD HQ. It was only live for a couple of minutes, but obviously there's thousands and thousands of players, so many people grabbed screenshots in that short period of time. This is leading people to think that this was intentional, but honestly, I don't think it was. They really do stupid things like this all of the time, but to me, this suggests that maybe they're doing these internal playtests on the public build of COD HQ itself, so maybe playtesters are able to play no matter where they are in the world, and that would explain why so much is in the back end of the COD HQ for Black Ops 7 and Modern Warfare 4 already, because they might literally be building out those games in the back end already. Nevertheless, regardless of the how and why, let's go over the images and what they showcase. So first things first, we see this image where we get a look at the more futuristic operators, and they look pretty cool. They definitely do seem in between Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, which makes sense considering it's in 2035. And I do like the designs, and the weapon designs themselves look very cool as well. You can see that there's a monitor on the arm, which maybe you're able to see in game as a piece of equipment or something, and even the weapon on the left here appears to have some sort of monitor, so maybe that's going to be displaying the ammunition count or whatever on it, similar to some of the weapons we had in the past, such as in Advanced Warfare. And you have a futuristic looking building in the background, there's some explosions going on. You can't really make out too much from this image, but many people are thinking that the image on the left really reminds them of the Cordite from Black Ops 4, so it's very well possible that a lot of the weapons we see in this game are very similar to Black Ops 4, because that does seem to be the Call of Duty that's set closest time period wise, since of course it's in between Black Ops 6 and 3. It's crazy, the numbers system. So we then have this second image here, and this is the one that is the most interesting that's been revealed. First of all, we get a look at one of the score streaks in the game, which has been confirmed on the recent COD pod to be called the Dog. Yes, that's right, it really reminds me of many of the futuristic dog-looking vehicles that are in sci-fi nowadays. Even things like this exist in the real world right now. Of course, there was a whole Black Mirror episode that had similar things to this, where it has some sort of camera system at the front, and then it's got these rockets that it can fire on the right, and on the left it has some sort of machine gun turret. I'm speaking in regards to its perspective, not ours. Now, in the back, there does appear to be an American flag, so whatever map this is on does seem to be taking place in America. And then on the left, there appears to be some sort of giant mech, which looks very similar to the mechs that we saw in Black Ops 3, but this mech was also seen on the hologram in the Black Ops 7 teaser cutscene, so this will be like some sort of big spider tank, essentially. This is probably the prototype, an earlier version of the ones we eventually see come Black Ops 3. But it's absolutely colossal, so I don't know how that's going to function in terms of multiplayer. Is it going to be available on all modes or only some of the larger maps? But the most weird thing that we see about this image is in the background, you can clearly see all of the operators have Exo Suits on, which is so jarring and unexpected, because recently, again on the Call of Duty podcast, they confirmed that there's apparently no boost jumping or wall running in the game like has previously been rumored, and of course recently was enabled within the COD HQ, which would seem to just be leftover code from Infinite Warfare. Now, according to the feedback sessions that leaked last year, there'll apparently be wall jumping, and that's about it, instead of full-on wall running itself. However, they did confirm on the COD pod that there is going to be an evolution of Omni movement, so maybe that's what we are seeing. Maybe the Exo Suits are just going to be used because these are what are going to enable the wall jumping. But the thing is, if you look in the background, there's literally a player dolphin diving to the left, so like with Omni movement, you can move omnidirectional. However, how on earth would they get to this height without actually being able to double jump in the air? Now, unfortunately, the dog in the center is blocking the screen, so you can't see if there's a building there, but maybe they just jumped off of a wall, and that's what this is. Or potentially maybe Exo Suits are going to be limited to specific game modes, or potentially even like a specialist ability or something like that, because I know in Black Ops 4 it was originally intentioned to have boost jumping, but it was cut because of all the hate that Infinite Warfare got, and then according to leaks before release they planned on just having it as a specialist, but that ended up getting cut entirely as well, so I'm wondering if it could end up being for that. And there's another weapon that can be seen here, and again people are thinking this looks very similar to a Black Ops 4 weapon, specifically the double cross, and I definitely see the similarity, and that's definitely possible. I think, you know, maybe they're not going to be exactly the Black Ops 4 weapons, but they could be earlier stages of these weapons before they end up as the variants we saw precisely in Black Ops 4. Now before I get into the mode information that's been revealed from these images, I first want to just talk about the general color palette of these images, because in my opinion, I think that the mech designs and the futuristic designs of even some of the operators look really cool. I mean, I especially like the dog design. It's so detailed and it looks so realistic, and even the weapon designs look very realistic, very detailed. However, in terms of the maps themselves and the aesthetics of them, to me, if you removed all of the future tech, I could not tell you what game this is from. It looks like it's exactly like Black Ops 6, or it's exactly like Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3. It's very hard to distinguish them, and this has been such a big problem with the Call of Duty HQ and a unified Call of Duty engine. All of the games feel monotonous and synonymous, and this has created a problem where, of course, future CODs have been leaking out because they're all being built from the same base launcher. However, it's also creating a problem where all of the games just feel too similar, and I was hoping that with Black Ops 7 going towards the near future yet again, that this would make it feel distinct from Black Ops 6, because when we had Modern Warfare 2 and 3 back to back, I felt they were just way too similar feeling games, so it ended up feeling like DLC. But this yet again feels like DLC because it literally looks the same, it's probably going to feel the same and play similarly, especially because there's not going to be full-on wall running or double jumping that would have differentiated it. And it's just a shame because in the past, all of the different distinct Call of Duty studios had their own unique flavor to Call of Duty that you could really differentiate between them. So if you preferred Infinity Ward games, you could take breaks between the Treyarch games, or if you prefer the Treyarch games, you could take breaks between the Infinity Ward games. Their games used to stand out, but now all of the studios basically work on every single Call of Duty game as a collaborative project. There's too many cooks in the kitchen, and it's leading everything to feel just so generic. If you look back at Black Ops 2 or even Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, the maps are so colorful and vibrant. If you look at the Black Ops 2 reveal trailer and then compare it to this, it's like, what on earth is going on? This does not feel like a Black Ops 2 sequel like it's supposed to be. The color palette is all browns, grays, and just washed out colors. It's like they need to turn the saturation up, and I just don't get it. This does not match the vibe of Black Ops 2 at all. Yes, the Call of Duty studios do have slight differences in styles even now, but they feel more similar than they ever have, and it's such a shame because, like I said, it would be good to mix things up year on year. Even though Call of Duty generally stays pretty much the same every single year, there would be greater differences back then, and there just aren't anymore. And I hate this color palette. Everything just looks so washed out. There are some instances where, you know, specific zombie maps or even multiplayer maps look a bit brighter, but this is not it. This just does not look that way at all. It looks terrible in my opinion. It looks generic. It looks like exactly like Black Ops 6. If you told me all this is a limited time event for Black Ops 6 where they're adding futuristic tech and some futuristic modes, I would believe it because there's nothing to indicate otherwise. It literally looks like Black Ops 6 with some future tech slapped on it, and that's not what we need for a Black Ops 2 sequel. Black Ops 2 feels so different, so distinct from Black Ops 1. They look completely different. However, if Black Ops 1 and 2 were made today, they would feel pretty much the same. They would look pretty much the same. They would have less unique flavor. Literally, the only difference here is said future tech. Now, obviously, we know that a lot of the campaign and the multiplayer maps are going to be set on Avalon, which was originally developed for Black Ops 6, but got postponed and reused for the campaign and multiplayer because it was originally going to be a Warzone map, but that got either cancelled or postponed for Verdansk's return. So I don't think they're going to do a good enough job in making Avalon feel futuristic enough or feel distinct from Black Ops 6 enough. Anyways, enough ranting, let's go over the mode information right now. So it says new mode Overload, and let me just say this is not a new mode, this is just uplink like we've seen in the past. I don't don't get why they just changed the name of a mode and then they market it as if it's a new thing. It's not a new thing. Anyways, the description says 2 teams of 6 players each fight to control a neutral EMP device that must be delivered to the enemy HQ for score. Reach the score limit and claim victory by delivering multiple EMP devices. Now, this leads me into the speculation about the Exo Suits, because I'm wondering if potentially for Overload or Uplink, should we really say, they might have advanced movement enabled where you can actually double jump, because personally, Uplink, which was first introduced in Advanced Warfare, was the most fun in the advanced movement games, Black Ops 3 to Infinite Warfare. It was so much fun. It provided so much more dynamic, being able to move in 4 dimensions. When they brought back Uplink, again renamed as Gridlock or whatever in World War II, or like we've even seen in some of the more recent games, it's nowhere near as good, it's nowhere near as fast-paced, it's nowhere near as competitive. So I'm hoping that they enable boost jumping and stuff for this mode, but probably not, but that could maybe explain the exos on the backs, but I don't think so. I think this is probably to do with the wall jumping. That's probably why they are here. In terms of the storyline and lore, this is probably the early development of what becomes the DNI in Black Ops 3 or the Exo Suits in Advanced Warfare. By having the Exo Suit on the back attached around the arms and the legs, it provides extra strength so that they're able to grab onto and jump off of walls with far distances, but they're not fully able to actually boost jump just yet, or fully wall run, I would assume. The other description says ready to get your first taste of Parallax, which I think maybe is the code name for the playtest. Here's today's schedule: 10 AM to 6 PM Pacific Time, Core Mosh Pit, Overload TDM, Domination, Hardpoint, and Overload New, which again is not new. 6 PM Pacific Time is the new Skirmish 20 versus 20 mode. So these are all of the things that these people are playtesting, and how lucky are they? So yes, there's going to be a new 20 versus 20 mode. Apparently, according to leaks, it might not even be able to play on larger playlists, but we have a full description for it here, and it has the Cerberus logo right here. It says 2 teams of 20 fight to complete objectives across a large map. So essentially, this is the new ground war type thing. Capture points of interest, destroy payloads, and transmit valuable data to score. Use your wingsuit to flank and reach objectives before your enemy. The first team to reach the score limit wins. So I'm really excited to play this mode. Actually, I think these larger experiences will be the most fun. I assume a lot of these are going to be played on Avalon. Of course, in the teaser, we saw people swinging down with wingsuits, which of course are from Blackout, because obviously this was kind of going to be like a Blackout 2.0 map, but it's now being used for the campaign cooperative instead. So I think these wingsuits will also be used for this large multiplayer experience as well. This is going to be lots and lots of fun, especially with these giant mechs roaming around. I think this is going to be a great fun mosh pit. Then the other message reads, thanks for participating in our closed internal playtest. Jump in during core hours 12 to 2 PM to 6 to 8 PM Pacific Time each day, Friday to Sunday, to help us test out new maps and modes, and leave feedback in Parallax Playtest on Slack. So this to me suggests what I was saying earlier on in the video. I think people are playing Black Ops 7 from home, and they can sort of just jump in and participate in these playtests from wherever they want. This definitely suggests as such to me, and this is why this stuff has leaked out, which means that Black Ops 7 might technically be playable from the back end of the Call of Duty HQ. Maybe they all have a specific patch that goes onto it, so we are not able to access it in any way, but I do think they're just playing from the COD HQ from home. This message really seems to imply as such. It's just absolutely wild. I would expect a load more stuff to be leaking out in the future, because definitely some of these QA testers are going to be leaking this stuff. I don't know why they would even think of doing this stuff from home. It's just bound to leak out. Call of Duty just leaks everything nowadays. Nothing is a surprise. Those days are long since gone, unfortunately. I mean, the only surprise was the Black Ops 7 reveal itself. That came as a massive shock, and I have to give them that. And the trailer, or the cutscene should I say, itself looks beautiful, but as we've seen, it looks so clean, so crisp, but then the actual game itself looks washed out and bland. It's a stark contrast. So just like I said when we got the Black Ops 7 reveal, don't get ahead of yourselves and make assumptions because of a good pre-rendered cutscene. The actual game, unfortunately, doesn't seem to look as crisp. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say in this video. Let me know if you agree in the comments below. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already for latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.